Fearfulness versus fear itself. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Spoken so skillfully by Franklin Delano Roosevelt in his inaugural address in 1933. He was speaking to reverse the hardship during our country's time of economic uncertainty brought on by the Great Depression. Today, our fearfulness can project hazard into the future. What would happen if fear became an opportunity to illuminate faith instead? This story demonstrates the way fearfulness can disrupt confident resolution for the future. See if you can spot the opportunities to take a different approach. During a recent cold spell, a wife brought some potted plants indoors to protect them from a possible freeze. It turned out that a little green garden snake was hidden in one of the plants. When it had warmed up, it slithered out. The wife saw it go under the sofa and let out a loud scream. The husband, who was taking a shower, ran into the living room naked to see what the problem was. She told him there was a snake under the sofa. He got down on his hands and knees to look for it. About that time, the family dog came and cold-nosed him on the back side. He thought the snake had bitten him. He screamed and fell over on the floor. His wife thought he had had a heart attack. She covered him up, told him to lie still while she called an ambulance. The attendants rushed in, but would not listen to his protests. They loaded him on the stretcher and started carrying him out, lest he die before reaching the hospital. About that time, the snake came out from under the sofa. The emergency medical technician saw the snake, dropped his end of the stretcher. That is when the husband broke his leg, and why he stayed in the hospital longer than for a snake bite. The wife still needed to get rid of the snake, called her neighbor. She called him, and he volunteered to capture it. He armed himself with a rolled up newspaper and began poking under the couch. Soon, he decided it was gone and told the woman. She sat down on the sofa to relax, but as her fingers dangled between the cushions, she felt the snake wriggling around. She screamed and fainted. The snake rushed back under the sofa. The neighbor, seeing the woman there, passed out and tried to revive her by using CPR. The neighbor's wife, who just returned from grocery shopping, saw her husband with his mouth on the woman's mouth. She slammed her husband in the back of the head with a bag of canned goods. This knocked him out and cut his scalp, which required stitches. The noise woke the woman from her dead faint. She saw her neighbor on the floor with his wife bending over him. She assumed that the snake had bitten him. She ran to the kitchen and got a small bottle of whiskey and began pouring it down the man's throat. By now, the police had arrived. They smelled the whiskey, assumed that a drunken fight had occurred. They were about to arrest all of them when the woman tried to explain how it all happened over a little green garden snake. The police called an ambulance, which took away the neighbor and his sobbing wife. Now, the little snake again crawled out from under the sofa. One of the policemen drew his gun and fired it at the snake, but he missed the snake and hit the leg of the end table. The table fell over, shattered the lamp on the table, and as the bulb broke, it started a fire in the drapes. The other policeman tried to beat out the flames. He fell through the window into the yard on top of the family dog. The dog, startled, jumped out, raced into the street. An oncoming car swerved to avoid the dog and smashed into the parked police car. Meanwhile, the neighbors saw the burning drapes and they called the fire department. The firemen had started raising the fire ladder when they were halfway down the street. The rising ladder tore out the overhead wires, put out the power, and disconnected the telephones in a 10-square city block area. However, they did get the fire out. Time passed. Both men were discharged from the hospital. The house was repaired. The dog came home. The police acquired a new car. All was right in the world. Today, the husband and wife were watching TV. The weatherman announced a cold snap for the night. The wife asked her husband if he thought they should bring in their plants. Bring in the plants for the night. What do you think, dear? That is when he just stood up and walked out. Considering all the events that happened, how did fearfulness interfere with the best resolution in each situation? Remember, we have nothing to fear except fearfulness itself. Thank you.